Oh, would you dare? You see what I do on YouTube, Twitter, oh God, Twitch, you name it, it's out, right? So what we do is we talk about everything supernatural, crypto, extraterrestrial, demons, serial killers. You guys pick something, we talk about it, okay? And from there, every now and then, occasionally, one of you guys, that are one of my followers, will actually send in a story. Most of you guys want to remain anonymous, which is kind of cool. Protect yourself, I get it. People may think you're crazy. You know how it goes, right? But with that being said, don't be afraid to speak your truth, man. There's stuff out there we just don't understand. Everybody's probably seen something they can't understand. At the corner of their eye, you're looking going, what's this, what's that, man? Anybody? Yeah, you've seen it. You ain't got to tell me. It's all good. Well, what I'm going to do is, I am going to give you guys a story from one of the followers, right? So you guys take it with a grain of salt, right? But it is what it is. This is her truth. She sent it to me. Hey, I can't verify it. I don't know. I'm just running with it, okay? Because it does make for great storytelling. And also, I'm a writer. I've done the Destiny vs. Chaos series, the Benefits of a Bullet series for the 10 and up kids, and I've done 2 comic books right now. They're on Kindle. You guys can pick that up. I'm gonna give you guys a card so y'all make sure y'all support. All right? Because I always give back, trust and believe, right? But this one is from one of Twitter followers, and the incident happened in the summer of 2008. There were 3 friends, 2 guys, 1 girl, and her included makes a total of 4. They wanted to do some ghost hunting stuff, she said. They had planned this out for quite some time. So they began looking around locally and on the internet to see if they could find the proper cemetery or the proper spot where you could actually have a seance performed and it do what it do, okay? So they finally agreed on one spot. It's old, been around for a very, very long time. And now this took place in Cobb County, Georgia, she says. And her parents were going out of town. She wasn't gonna make anything happen until they left. Y'all know how we used to do when we was kids. I was scared of my parents. But you know how we did when we were kids? You would sneak out, do stuff that you wanted to do when the parents weren't around, and then that way, nobody knew. So they embark on the mission once the parents leave. She says she gives a call to the guy picks her and another female up, and they leave for the spot, which is the cemetery. They were hungry and they couldn't decide on where they wanted to go. Whether they're gonna go to a gas station, get some chips, something to drink. She says they didn't know, or were they gonna settle on fast food? And they chose Jack in the Box, she says. Whatever. So they agreed on that. They get to Jack in the Box, they order the food, and they drive to the cemetery. Right? When they get to upon their arrival, around 10:33 p.m., they turned the headlights off and slowly pulled up to the gate. They were surprised, she said, as to the size of the cemetery. It's old, but there was a man there with a shovel. So we know what that man with the shovel was. He's probably an undertaker, okay? They could see him about 150 yards in, but he didn't notice them, she said. He seemed to be filling plots. So they had to wait until he left. And around 1:15 a.m., he did so. And the guy driving had dozed off, so she had to wake him. They all get out the car, dump their trash in the trash cans, and the other two grabbed their backpacks with the equipment in it. She said it was hot and humid that night, and there was a semi-thick fog. It was covering the floor, the ground of the cemetery, and hovering above the tombstones. Thought it had to be different conditions, but hey, it's her story. She said, we're going to conjure something good tonight, I just know it. She said, looking back, we had no idea what awaited us. They slid through the gate, the part with the small opening, so they're trying to find the perfect spot. She said they're making too much noise. She tells them to chill out. Are they going to scare anything, any ghosts, or anything we're trying to conjure tonight? So they go further back as they're quieting down, and they see this huge oak tree. It's all deformed and it looks really, really twisted and evil. There are some headstones there, she says, with some dates you can read and some that have been eroded from time and weather. One she said had a date that she could actually read, 1872, here lies Bartham Modell. She says, this is the spot. So they got the candles and the Ouija board, and they start asking questions for about 30 to 40 minutes. After they lit the candles, they got into that circle, of course. After 30 to 40 minutes, nothing happened. You know how kids get impatient, their stuff don't happen when they want it, how they want it. They want stuff to pop off right then and there, right? And the guy that's working the camera, he says, check this out, nothing's gonna happen, let's bounce. She says, and as soon as he says this, they can hear a tree branch pop. And they also hear rustling in the trees and the fog, and they can hear some clicking noises. He drops the camera, breaks the lens, and then, of course, the batteries fall out. Now he's spinning around in the fog trying to find this. Everybody else is stood up and looking around going, yo, what's going on? Now the girl that wrote this, that sent this to me, she's telling me she was excited. So everybody's just looking up and around, all around, trying to find out where these signs are coming from. And then everything goes silent. They shine the flashlights and headlamps in front of them in the distance, and the sounds pick up again. And this time, it's louder. They can see movement, and they notice that something is digging in the ground in the fog. And there's another one digging in the grave, pulling parts out of the grave. One of the guys shines his light directly on it, and it looks up immediately with two huge glowing cat-like eyes. The glow was possibly from the light hitting them from the flashlight and the headlamp, but this was when it gets really freaky. She says it appeared to be smiling at them. She said she didn't know if it was just nerves, but the other female screamed and said, it's smiling at us. It's freaking smiling at us. And now they can clearly see the huge mouth with sharp rows of teeth, and it suddenly releases a high-pitched scream that has alerted the other one that was eating the corpse. It suddenly snaps to attention and readies itself for a live human hunt. The two things attack, and she and her friends take off running for their very lives. She said that things were very quick and seemed to split up in the fog. Her focus, she said, was getting to the car. Out of nowhere, one of the creatures tackled one of the guys, ripping his hoodie off. It begins tearing into his body, flipped him over on his back, clawing, scratching, and he's yelling in pain. Now everybody's screaming and yelling, now everybody else is screaming and yelling, and they're in panic mode. And they began beating on the creature with the flashlights and anything they can find in the fog to use as a self-defense mechanism, right? And this makes the thing finally get off the guy. He was pretty torn up. Once this thing is off, it takes a weird posture and is clearly smiling again at them. No doubt, everyone becomes hysterical. Then the other creature joins from the left, trying to cut them off from the car, which was pretty close by. They got their friend to his feet and slowly began moving in the direction of the car. She yells, run, and they all do. Making it to the car, he turns it on. As the rest of them pile in, one of the creatures jumps on the hood on the top of the car, while the other was damaging the front of the car, biting, clawing, pounding, bashing. Then the one on the roof smashes the windshield, causing it to spiderweb shatter. You guys know what that is when it shatters, but it doesn't go through and doesn't break. Apparently that's what she's talking about. No broken glass affects anybody in the vehicle. The one on the roof jumps off, but the other one in the front backs up. She yells, hit it, run it over. He does. The creature goes flying over the hood of the car, screaming a nasty pitch. She can't figure out what to do next. But the guy does. He speaks to the local sheriff department to report it. But they're not willing to file, which will be the local sheriff department will be willing to file, because they think that these kids are young and on drugs or been drinking. I would think so too. Y'all can't play like y'all, but I would think the exact same thing. She said they didn't want their parents to find out, as they were out of town. They described the creatures as dark gray and the other one dark brown, with a foul odor, sharp teeth, and huge yellow eyes. They told them where the creatures were, and reluctantly the head officer in charge, sent some deputies to check it out. About 20, 30 minutes later, they go. They arrive at the cemetery, which wasn't really that far, away. They began talking to dispatch, verifying strange movement. As she and her friends listened, the deputies began to sound off in distress, but said, stand by to dispatch. A few minutes later, the deputy said they're en route back to the station, while the other deputy she yelled out, "Shots fired." Then silence on the radio. Finally, when the two deputies came back, the ones that left the other guys, it's kind of hard. Well, if you leave me and I'm a deputy, we'll get to that in a minute. And the two deputies came back, one helping the other with a bloody, ripped up shoulder. And the girl responds, "You thought we lied. You saw them, didn't you? Nasty, wasn't it?" The commanding officer told him, "You guys just go home, be quiet." And then the officer that was bleeding said, "Yeah, it's real, it's legit, it's real." The commanding officer said, "Don't share this." They left. But when they left, when the girl and her friends left, they could see them gathering heavy firearms, shotguns, AR-15. She said she assumes they're going back to help the others. Of course they're going back to help the others. I was making fun of her when she said that. And the others that were left dealing with those things. But we also know the state troopers pulling up as well. That would be smart. I think that's about how it goes too. And she said we went home stunned, barely to speak about this. And it never made the news. That's the puzzling part. But we know what we saw. And it was the scariest moment of my life. That's what she says. Again, there's no way to verify that, right? But before you start doubting and eye rolling, check this out. There's a thing called the Beast of LBL. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. It's back in Kentucky where I'm from. Happened in the early 80s. There's a Hopkinsville Goblin, another part of Kentucky where I'm from, 1950s, right? And then the Las Vegas alien crash accompanied by that blue light streak that just happened. You guys have heard about that, right? That's cool. You will know, because that one is making a lot of headlines. You saw this information where they're talking about the aliens and stuff that's happening, stuff that they've been talking about for 50, 60, 70 years, right? And all of a sudden it's coming to light. Now the Beast of LBJ, that's the scary one, because it legit happened. You guys look that up, and you're going to get conflicting stories, but the stories are, the one story you keep getting is they actually did have state troopers there. They had a lot of people there, law enforcement. Some of the guys were actually puking and throwing up from what this thing, which reminds me of what she's talking about, what it did to that family. Tore the little girl up, tore the dad up, the son up, and the mother. It wiped out 4 of them. This ain't my words. This is something you can Google and look it up right now. You're gonna see, yo, that's legit, right? And I went to the Hopkinsville Goblin site a month ago, just to see. And Kelly, if you blink, it's a wrap. You won't even see it. So what I try to do, I try to go to some of these spots because again, I really like to make sure that I bring truth to what I'm doing. Because I do sci-fi, horror, I do that kind of thing, right? Because it's such a big world out here, and the universe is even bigger. We got a lot of stuff we don't understand. Again, I know some of y'all have been in the crib, and you see something flash by, you go, whoa, what was that? It's that thing. It's exactly what you thought it was. You can't really figure out what it is, but there's so many energies out here, and I'm just somebody who's just, I was hoping one of the guys showed up here that I used to train. I'm a fitness trainer as well. So I was hoping that he was here, because we saw some creepy stuff right over here during the mass, doing COVID tires. We saw some crazy stuff. So I'm gonna give you guys my card. You go to my YouTube page, you're gonna see some of the stuff that we're talking about. And we just got back from Area 51. I've actually got footage. I'm gonna show that. I just got that set up to premiere today at 6 o'clock, okay? You guys be sure to jump in there, leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Do what you guys do. You just check out the information. And it's got other stuff that we've seen with the big 30-foot metal alien. We do a lot of stuff. I do a lot of stuff. And if I don't want to put my girl in a situation where we got to run. I'm outrun her. No, I'm playing. I'm going to make sure I protect her. I'm just kidding. But, you know, if it was me and some of the fellas, then it would be more feasible. You guys know you're going to protect your woman at all costs. You're not going to put her in harm's way. So if you want to do other stuff, you're like, yeah, let's go see this. That's my road dog right there. That's the only one I got that's going to come with me. And so you see a lot of stuff. And again, when I give you guys these cards, right? Check it out, man. I'm telling you, there is some crazy stuff going on out there, and they're talking about it more and more. Now again, Everybody in here likes some sci-fi, you like some horror movie, you like some spooky, so quit playing, because they wouldn't keep making us. We didn't like these horror shows and these sci-fi channels and these sci-fi movies, Star Trek, all of these things, right? They wouldn't keep making them if we weren't buying and we weren't participating. So, again, be stoic all you want. Take this with a grain of salt. Keep an open mind. Imagination ain't dead. Guys, all right? Let the kids know, because when we had the boogeyman, we had all this other spooky stuff when we were coming up. I remember, you go outside, the boogie gonna get you, or the boogeyman gonna get you, or something's gonna get you. And I'm from Kentucky, and it get real, real dark out there in the woods. I'm telling you, man, there's some stuff out there that you can't exactly explain. One last thing, we went to Roswell last year. The camera she's using right now, it has no Wi-Fi connection, none. No internet connection, none. So we didn't realize it was Roswell's 75th anniversary. It's like, oh wait, Roswell, oh snap. We were going to see the sequoias. We wanted to see the giant sequoias. So when we did, went to Roswell. So I get out, the next morning I think I'm about to do my thing, right? I'm about to try to give a presentation like I'm doing to you guys and share it with my fans, right? Man, I get on there, about 3 or 4 minutes go in, the camera starts going blip, 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 and I had no idea it was doing that. No idea. By the time I talked, I thought I talked for 11 minutes. Only got like 6 minutes worth of information, and the screen just kept glitching and glitching, and it just went out. Don't know why, don't know how. I'm just telling you what happened to me. You can see it. It's on my YouTube channel. I ain't making this stuff up. I could profit if I was lying, but I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened. And the footprint that we saw when we were out there training and running one morning at 5 o'clock in the morning at 35-degree weather, ain't nobody out there with a size 13 at 35-degree weather at the height of COVID, because y'all know COVID shut Austin down like a ghost town in some spot. Lake Lime Mall, it looked like a ghost town, and that's what we went through. So again, anybody got any scary questions you might want to ask? It's okay, ask me. I've seen some stuff, talked to a lot of different people. It's okay, man. We don't bite. Some of the stuff we talk about does. No question? What you got?
Ever seen this man in your dreams?
Have I ever seen who?
This man in your dreams, kind of like that. It's not real.
You saying it's not real? Just all this in a dream? You sure?
It's a creepy pasta where this man like appears in your dreams, just it's like a staring man.
Like the Slender Man, or like the Slender Man kind of guy?
No, it just looks like a normal man.
He's like a convict. I know what you're talking about, though. It's a lot, and again, a lot of us as adults, we see a lot. There's stuff that we will actually push out of our mind, so we'll have to deal with it. Again, once you get older, imagination is gone. What you got?
Did they say the name of those two creatures?
No, she just said there were just two of them, one brown and one dark gray, and she said she don't know where she basically, when I got through, I was messing with her a little bit. I was like, you quit playing, girl, go on, quit playing. And she was like, no, man, this thing scared us to death. We've never been back since. And it was at the cemetery. So she never had any identity of what it could be. She said what it looked like and gave me that brief description of what it looked like.
The beast of LBL.
Which one?
The beast of LBL.
Now that one, Google that, look that up. Y'all think I'm messing with you. What you got over there?
So was that portal ever closed? Like, did anybody ever go back to close that
You know what?
Ouija board?
Don't get me started. I'm gonna ask her, because I never even thought of that. Because she probably does something crazy in here. Seriously. Because I never even thought, what you just did, I never even thought about it. I never even thought about that, because again, she might have opened something up. Because a lot of people don't believe in demons. Y'all see demons at your workplace all the time. Keeping up stuff, keeping stuff going. You guys see it all the time. What you got?
I'm gonna tell you, it is true, and I do believe in the experience because I work at a nursing facility. And I had somebody that was very dear to my heart that passed away. And he would always say, open my bathroom door, remember, shut that door behind you. Now, remind you, I wasn't even in his room. I kept feeling something. I was telling my coworker, I was like, oh, I feel like a cold little piece on my neck. Before he passed away, he always said, you're so beautiful. And I was just I was a funk. I was like, I don't want to be at work, I don't want to be here. And he would, every time I go to his room, he made me feel good. So I was going to take care of somebody on the opposite hallway, and I kept feeling this on my neck, and I was like, oh, we ain't done anything, we ain't done. Went down into his room, well, to her room, and I be dog. I was sitting there, I left the bathroom door closed. There's no way for this door to open by itself. And all of a sudden the door just started creaking. And I said, you can't walk. This is a bed-bound person. I look around, no, you can't walk. Ain't nobody else in here, but I kept having that feeling. As soon as I came out, the door just swung open, and as soon as I walked out the door, that door said, ah! I said, ah! I said, oh, you playing games now. I said, I can't do this. There's no way. These are that just, but I believe, I see them all the time at work.
Well,
This,
Let's, can we do this, not to cut you off,
Yeah.
please do.
We still got people.
We are here till, for half an hour, that half an hour's up, but I want to give everybody an opportunity. So I'm just saying, we can continue, if you want to talk to this young man, or after you want questions about stuff,
Yes.
he's gonna be here, I'm sure, and we can answer questions and stuff, so that's why we want to keep it moving if we can. Not to-